Amy Hill Creates and with Journaling with Intention. It's so nice that you are here today. Thank you so much for showing up on this day, this Sunday, as we get ready for our week. We are week 18 of all weeks. And I've started to shift by having kind of like a theme of the week or a theme of the day based on how my week went and some lessons that I've learned this week. And so last week we had a theme of dysregulation. So how is it that you can get regulated? So I'm going to talk about that. And that led this week to kind of, if you're feeling good or if you're feeling regulated, to pass that on. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So I have something a little bit different today, where we're going to get our week with our journals all set up. And then I'm actually going to make some graduation cards and talk about how I'm going to be giving some special grads in my world some gifts and what I gave them and things like that, and what to use and stuff like that. So I wanted to, that's kind of my theme, is if you're feeling that regulation, to pass that on, take a moment to acknowledge people. And that's kind of my theme for this week coming up, is taking that moment to pause and acknowledge. So that being said, I'd love to acknowledge that you guys are here today. So thank you so much for tuning in. It is so awesome. I love it that you guys are here. Melly is here, and good evening, Melly. I hope that you are doing well. And Anne and Nisa and Tina and Nancy. And Nancy, it is just about turning afternoon for you. I hope you are doing well. And thank you so much, Anne, for the reminder to give a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And please share this. If you're finding these weekly sessions helpful, please share them out. Let people know. Let people know that this is something that's been helping you. And that's why I'm doing this. I did this because I know I needed it, because I don't do things unless I have some sort of external pressure. And I knew that this would be helpful. So thank you so much in building up this community. So I'm going to get started. So we got two kind of things that we're going to work on today. So first off, I'm going to talk about last week and how that went. And I started something different in my bullet journal, so I wanted to share that with you and how it went. And then I'm going to jump into making a card for a special graduate. And I'll talk about graduation and how you can personalize things and make it a little special for the person who's going to be getting it. And it doesn't have to be graduation. Think about somebody else that's in your life that you just kind of want to say, you know what, I really appreciate what you do, and maybe how you are with me. And just kind of think about that. All right, I'm going to turn right down to my desk, and here we are. So I got some nice things here. I'm just going to zoom out just a little bit. I just realized that was really, 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 really zoomed in. There we go. Sorry about that. And so I'm going to just kind of share what we're doing. So last week, I made a really big change. And I don't know if you guys decided to follow me on that change, but I would love to know in the comments how your week went. Did you happen to journal? What did you do? Let me know how all of that went. So for those of you, again, that this is your first time with us, we are journaling. And we started all the way back in January, kind of with those, all of those New Year's resolutions. I was like, don't always keep those. So is there a way, how can I, do this in a way that actually I can stick to something throughout the year? So we called them intentions. And so we took these intentions and said, all right, what it is can we do? And so we talked about focusing on, these are kind of like all the things you want to do. And then how do we put those down and just focus on one or two things? And then we kind of track stuff, because you need data, you need information. And so every month we are doing that. And we even had some months or some times where I was like, hey, there's some things that I need to remind myself, like, just things that will help me to stay grounded, things that you're grateful for. And so using all of those materials that we have in order to create a really pretty book that you want to be in. And so we are in, I love this page in April. I still go to it a lot just to look at it. And in May, we started to switch over. I started to kind of switch things up and do things a little bit differently. And I'm really focusing on this thing about being present and taking my photos. So I'm actually going to start there because I got some nice photos because a lot of stuff is coming up. So I switched to this regulation tracker because I noticed last week that I was dysregulated, but it kind of creates this little pretty rainbow in your book, which is kind of neat. And so I thought that was cool. So I'm going to keep that. And I also got this little tiny printer, and I'm actually going to start there because I took some pretty cool photos of my plants this week, and I'm really excited to get them out there. So with this little tiny camera, or with this little tiny printer, I can take the things off of my phone, which I don't always see because they kind of like to hide in there, and I can print them out, and then I can stick them in my journal. And I love that about it, is that I can do that. And it's really easy to kind of move. And as I'm talking to you, I'm actually going to be printing this out. And I'm just making some adjustments on my phone, exactly what I want to do, what I want to focus on, what I want to print out. And I can even crop them inside of the app. And there's poor Evan because he got sick this week. All right, so this is printing. We're going to join, and then this is going to print out. All right, so those I'm going to add in, and it's pretty cool how this works. Oops, my printer turned off. That's bad. There we go. And this is something that you can kind of take on the go, which is really neat to do. So I'm really enjoying having this little guy. He's expensive, so I'm really trying to be like, the printing, it's a little bit something that is, and it's not working for me, of course, because I'm trying to talk to you about while I'm doing it. So I will try again, and if it doesn't work, we will abandon that, and I will do it later. All right, so this is pretty cool because of the fact that it will print these right out. It's really, really super fast, and I can cut them out and put them onto my pages. So what I'm going to start with while this is, there it goes, while this is figuring itself out, is I am going to get my next page, my next 2 pages set up. And while I'm doing that, I also wanted to talk to you. Last time that we met, we talked about, in fact, the last 2 weeks, we've talked about doing these top-down graphic organizers in a way to think about how, things are organized in your life. And this doesn't have to be, we talked about how this could be for trips, how this could be for supplies. I use this as crafty organization, how it could be for like things that you want to do. So this actually inspired me, which was really cool, that I spent all day yesterday organizing my craft room. I picked everything up. I actually, I cleaned everything up. I couldn't believe it. And my stuff has been sitting here for quite some time. So I was like, wow, this is really great. So just by kind of organizing things and having a moment to think about it, I was like, hey, you know what? This actually spurred me on to doing other things. So I added that in, and I put it in as crafting time. But it actually was really helpful. So I put that into my piece. So this little thing, I'm just going to cut these out. And I'm going to add this on to my tracker. And I got a lot of stuff blooming this week. A lot of stuff is starting to pop up. We had a huge rainstorm yesterday. If you were in the Northeast, that was a pretty crazy rainstorm. And it definitely is helping the flowers to grow. So it was really nice to see all of those things. So I'm just going to take these little photos, and I put for myself this little Sights of May. And this was one way just to kind of like keep track of things that are going on. And just, I'm going to write them down, and I can add them over to my, in fact, I think I'm going to put this one. This is poor Evan. He got sick on Wednesday. So I'm just going to add this into my Wednesday. Poor Evan. So Evan got 6. So I'm just going to add this in. Oh. And then over here, I'm going to add my little flowers because I had some really, really beautiful things coming up. Okay. And what's nice about this is that it's sticky. So actually I'm going to add this because I'm so excited that my lilac is out. I have this really, really beautiful lilac. So I'm going to put that one out. And then over here, I'm just going to add my little spirea and my iris. And just put this around my little house that I did last time. All right, so I'm going to set up my journal. And let me know, are you setting up your journal too? Is that something you're doing with me? Are there any changes that you're going to make in your journal this week? Anything that you're going to focus on? You're going to add recipes. Think about that top-down graphic organizer. Is there something that you need to organize that you just kind of haven't been doing that you want to organize? So let me know in the comments, how are you guys doing? How is organizing going? How is your journaling going? How is it for you? All right, and there's my little iris. All right. And thank you again for sharing this while we're live. I really appreciate that. And let people know if this is something that has been helpful to you. Please share it out and let people know what's going on. All right, so next week, as we are going from the, I think I want to be blue. I think I'm going blue. We are May 22nd to May 28th. So next week, we're going to set up for June of all things. And that is so exciting, organizing for the Strawberry Festival. I can totally see, and I know that you are an organized person, but I can totally see something like this helping you because you have to, of how many things you need to bring, and then everything you need to do for that Strawberry Festival. And I know that's exciting because you are going to be presenting your, or selling your cards there, which is really awesome. And you had such a great first class that you taught, which is so great. All right, I'm just grabbing some washi tape. And again, I should pull these out earlier, but I don't do that. Sometimes I like to be in the moment and see what inspires me as I look at all of my washi wares from the last 20 years. All right, pulling out some washi. And washi's great for this because it's an opportunity to use this stuff up that you've had forever. And it's an opportunity to do that. Oh my gosh, Tina, is that right? So you're saying that you get a day. Everybody's going to be having a day. I saw all the parades. Everybody, all the towns are really looking pretty. Everybody's kind of sprucing up for all of the Memorial Day parades that are going to be happening. So that's pretty awesome. We were out driving today. We got to the, I do a farm share. This time of the year, they just started. So we went to the farm and got some beautiful veggies. And that was one thing on my list for what I want to do this week is I have not been cooking because I have been very busy. So that's one thing is after I get off this, I'm going to be researching some recipes. And I already have a page back here for recipes. I have a recipe tracker. And that's that is where I'm going to be putting my recipes down. So absolutely. So nice to see you, Nancy. I'm so glad you are here. And Tina, that's so exciting. All right, so I have my tiny ruler and I'm just going to grab a pencil. And what has been working is I've been separating this out into larger chunks, and I haven't even been using my trusty stencil. I've just been kind of using this and eyeballing this as we go along. So this is just under 3 inches. So we'll put this at 3. That's about-ish halfway. And so all I do is I just take this and I'm going to cut this in half just with my pencil line. And then I need to make, because there's going to be, this is Monday and Tuesday, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have an extra one down here because I like to have a reflection place where I can kind of think back on that. Oh, that sounds good, Nisa, that you had Strawberry Festival in March. And that makes sense because of where you live, that it would be a lot, there would be strawberries there. Strawberries here are just starting to fruit, so not ready. They usually are ready in June. Where I live is June. That's where I agree with Anne. Strawberry Festival would make sense in June for that. All right, I think I want to do this color. So these flare pens are really nice because they come in a lot of colors and they are very easy to use. Okay, so that's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and divide this up. So we got 15, and I think I did it by about 4 centimeters. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And that's it. Very, very simple, quick and easy to get just some spaces in order to get this separated. So I have some space to write in what the heck is going on with me this week. And I've been appreciating having this time with you guys and appreciating having this time where I am taking a moment to reflect. And it's definitely been helping me out. I hope it's something that's been helping you as well. All right, so I'm just pulling out this color swatches stencil. And this stencil, I love it. It's from Altenew. And it's really great because it has all of these openings of all of these different sizes. And I'm just going to make my little titles for the dates. So I'm just going to go ahead and just trace these all in. And it's nice having this. This is something that if you had like a little bit of, or a labeling machine, that would be cute to use. You could also just write this in. I just like to separate them out because I think it looks kind of cool. And a stencil like this makes your life a lot easier because this goes very, very quickly. And I'm just kind of lining these all up. And here we go. And then our last one. So you'll notice I have 8 spaces, but there's only 7 days in this week. And that's because this is my extra space. So that's a place where I'm going to be actually talking about what's happening in the next week. All right, so then all I do is just come in and I just add in each of the days of the week. You also could write down the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, however it is that you want. And this is our last week. I'm a teacher, so this is the last week we have for seniors. Their last day is actually tomorrow. So their last day of high school is tomorrow. And I title this Looking Back to Move Ahead. And that's that one. All right, so we have that. Oh yeah, you're right, sentiment blocking. It's really cute. All right, so I have everything. It's all set. And we are looking really, really super good. And I don't know why my light, it is so bright in here. And I don't know why that is looking so dark. So give me 1 second. And I think it's because I have the window on right now. That's what's going on. Let's just brighten this sucker up so you can see it a little better. Okay, so that page is all set. So I am all set. I'm ready to go ahead. I can add in those little tiny pictures. They actually fit in this space. And so I can go ahead and put all those in. It's also nice if you have things that you want to remember, you can go ahead and add those in now. So for me, I'm actually having I have 2 special seniors that I am going to be giving a gift to, and we're going to be making their cards today and setting up those gifts for them. So that's what I'm doing. I know it's so close, Tina. It's really, really getting hard, I have to tell you. Summer break is soon. Of course, it's also a little bit tough for me as well. All right, so I really enjoyed this. This is last week, and so I really like the bloom tracker because everything is popping out now. And I just got some plants from the farm, so I'm going to be putting in things like mint and tomatoes and cucumbers. I'm going to be putting all of those into my garden, so I definitely want to track that because that's just something that I enjoy, and that's going to be down here, and it just helps me to kind of when I have to plan for the next year. My mood tracker has been really great. I'm going to keep that up. And then this regulation tracker has been helpful. I actually like how I was thinking about this today, but I've been blocking off so that each of these colors is like a 10-minute band. But I realized I'm like, if I actually do 20 minutes of this, how does this work? So I'm going to keep this again, but I may end up changing and altering this, but I'm going to keep it again because I like how this looks. So I used that really thin piece of washi. I think I'm going to do that again. So let me grab that. You could also use a pen if you wanted to denote this, but I just like using the washi tape. It's just pretty. That's it. It's easy to move. If I make a mistake, I can just pick it up. It's not a problem. All right, so I'm gonna just make this about, I think it's about that's not a third, that looks like a half. Actually, I'm gonna do it this way instead. I'm going to put in my trackers first, and then I'm gonna come in and I will put those other pieces in. All right, so I'm gonna start up here. So I put 2 trackers up here. So one is for my mood tracker, and the other one is my bloom tracker. And then I'm going to use these, and I'm going to have 7 of these little things to denote each of the days of the week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and 7. So that just shows me it's definitely, that's as far as I need to go down. All right, so this is going to be 5/28. I cannot believe I'm writing May, but that's okay. And I'm at the end of May. Look at this, 27, 5/26, 5/25. We're almost, it's 52 weeks, so we're not quite halfway, but it's pretty. I hope you've been keeping up with me. It's pretty neat. Even just showing up sometimes, that's really the important thing. Okay, so those are my trackers. So I'm going to now take this. Oh, that's a great idea, Nisa. Birthday journal about my crafting friends. I like that. I was thinking about something like that. I think that's fabulous. I love journals because it doesn't have to be really about anything. It's really just, it's almost like a form of memory keeping, right? It's just, that's all you're doing is you're just tracking. It doesn't have to be, it could be anything. What you bring on vacation with you. So think about those organizers. All those graphic organizers are nice for things like that. All right, I'm going to grab some of this. Yes. Okay, and I'm setting this up very similar to last week because last week I made such a big change that I like to kind of hold on to that change for 2 weeks, and then I can kind of see how it's going and see if I need to modify anything. I have to say I enjoyed because I shifted things. I'm somebody who I get bored really easily with things. So by shifting something and making it a little bit different, it actually kind of helps me to stay focused. I know that might seem a little crazy, but it actually helps me that way if I change things up. Okay. And I'm just going to cut this. And I'm just cutting that because my piece got in the way. Oh, that's so great. And let me know how that goes. That was something I was thinking about, making that a page in my journal, and I hadn't got there yet. And I also live stream it, so I didn't want to be too personal. Okay, so there we go. All right, so I'm all set with this. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to make that tracker again. So I'm going to do this with pencil because I'm going to be, I'm going to do this with pencil. And a lot of that is because I just want to make sure that everything fits and I am not doing anything where I have to, if I do it in pen, then I got to erase it, and I can't because it's in pen. So, all right, so I'm just going to start over on this side with my little graph. And again, I use a dotted journal. I know it might be hard to see, but I use a dotted journal, and that's really helpful for me because then I can line things up. All right, now I'm going to come over on the side here, and I'm just going to this is going to be a very, very faint line because I may have to erase some of this, and I'm not sure how much I need. So what I did last time is I actually used like 2 rows. So I'm just going to come in and lightly do this. So all I'm doing is just demarcating each of the days. So that's Monday. This is my next day. So this is Tuesday. Why am I doing this freehand when I have a ruler? Don't know. I just realized my lines are not straight. So there we go. Tuesday. Here goes Wednesday. Here goes Thursday. Here goes Friday. And Saturday. And Sunday. Now I have a problem because I only like put these out so they hit so they only work as, I think I put it in for like an hour and 20 minutes. By the way, this is the Altenew stamp conditioning eraser. Also works as an eraser. If you were interested in knowing that. And it works as a very good eraser. So, all right, so there is everything. So I'm going to write down on the bottom all of my days. So here's my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And here is my minutes of regulation. So I'm going to put this in as, I'm just going to do these bars as 10 minutes. So I'm just going to demarcate this out as 10. So each centimeter is about 10. And I'm actually going to draw these lines across because I realized that I was having trouble last time. I'm not going to use my pen. I'm going to use my pencil, but I'm just going to draw these lines across just to make a little bit of a grid. And like I said, I was having trouble last time actually stating like how much each section was. And so I should be doing this a little bit lighter, but you get the gist. And that's how I can tell, like, oh, you know what? I did it as whatever mark. I also realized that how I'm doing it, it shows which item I'm kind of hitting first or what action I'm doing first. And that's been helpful as well. Okay, so there we go. So now I have this little grid line. My birthday journal's in Excel. But Nisa, it does it. That's great. It's somewhere. It's somewhere right now, which is awesome. I think it's great you're doing that. All right, so this is minutes of regulation. And I think we're calling this regulation tracker. All right, and then the other thing that I found really helpful, and I'm going to do that, I cut it out as a little card, but I'm going to do it over here a little bit differently, is I actually orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So I did this out as a little bit of a rainbow, and I added in all of the things that I was going to use to regulate. And then I color them in, so it's kind of like this huge rainbow. And this way I get to use a lot of my pens, which also made it exciting, I have to say, to use that. But I like the idea of the Excel spreadsheet, Nisa. Gotta love an Excel spreadsheet. And that's why I like this little color swatches stencil. This is so quick, really easy to do. I knew I grabbed purple. You guys were watching me. Okay, so now I have my little tracker, and I'm just going to use the same colors that I had. So this was coloring. I know this was walking. And this was talking, but I have to use the other color because yellow is not going to show up. And this was meditate, which I did not do. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, Nancy, and you lost the files? Oh, that stinks. Oh, I'm sorry. That stinks. I hate it when you lose files like that, especially when you have all that time that you put into something. That stinks. All right, live stream. I'm also going to make this like classes or retreats or anything that I do that's crafting classes. Red is crafting. And this is journaling. Whoops, why is that black? No idea. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. So I have everything all set, and I'm ready to kind of to do this. So I'm all set up. And again, it's been taking me about a half an hour to set up my 2 pages. And it's nice just to kind of have that time. So even if I was doing this and I don't have the live stream and everything else that's going on, it's just nice. So that's about 30 minutes. And I'm all set up for my week. It's a time for me to, take a moment to reflect back and then think about what I want to do. Now I can take this and use my colored pencils and color all of these things in. And that's the goal, is I'm going to come in here with something like a red, and I am going to head in color. So when I'm crafting, which I know I will be doing today after I get off with you and while I'm with you, is I'm going to color that section in red. And so that's what I did. So it's going to end up looking like this. And then I can track all the things that I did and how long I did it for. And I found this to be helpful because I was really excited about using this. So I really encourage you to try something like this, just as a little bit of a regulation. Just what are the things that you do on a daily basis? Even if this is something like exercise or types of exercise. So I could see this as like, oh, I'm doing an exercise class, or I'm biking, or I'm walking, or I'm lifting, or I'm doing yoga. And you can see like, what are the types of exercises that you're doing and how long are you doing them for? What's the duration? And so I think this is actually pretty cool, because this is going to be, like I said, in 10-minute increments, all the way up to 80, 10, 20, 30, 40. So here's 40. I don't feel the need to put in every single number, so I just put in a few. All right, so let me know. What do you think? Is that something you're going to try? You're going to try this? Have you tried it? Is it worth it? Let me know. All right, I'm going to shift over. So I know we do journaling and journaling with intention. So one of the things that I was thinking about this week is of I don't know what to say. It's not really gratitude. It's more like recognizing somebody. That's really what it is. It's more like thinking about somebody that's in your life and kind of taking a moment to think of them, and whatever it is that they, I don't want to say accomplishments, but kind of the things that they are, just to kind of recognize them, just to give somebody in your life some sort of recognition, I think is what it is. That's what I wanted to say. So what I did, and this was, if you were on a live stream with me from Altenew, I made these cards 2 weeks ago, I think. So I did these on purpose because I wanted to give these as graduation cards to to two of my students, and our colors are red. It's really more maroon, but I didn't use maroon because I wanted to keep it a little bit brighter, so I went close. And so I went to red. And then I also have one for my nephew, and his school is blue. So that's what I'm going to work on right now, is I wanted to play around with this. So in my organizing that I did, I reminded myself, now these are older, this one's new, but these are older products, and these are non-Altenew companies. And I know if you follow me on my classes, or if you follow me on anything, you're like, you actually own non-Altenew products? How is this possible? So I do. Granted, these are old. This is from 2017. This is 2016. So I'm realizing those are kind of on the older end. I don't even know when this one was, but these are nice. This is Right at Home. She's actually local to me, and they owned a company for quite some time. And this is a really cool little stencil. It's a layering stencil, but it's called a kaleidoscope, and it makes this really cool pattern. So I think I'm going to use this one. I had pulled this one out because I wanted to use it, but I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to make a card for my nephew, and Nancy, that is great. Ancient aunt, she wants to go to the art supply store. That is too cute. Too cute. All right, so I'm going to grab some nice, good blues. The inks that I have are nice, good blues. And I have a black, so that's good there. And I'm going to grab some paper. So I am going to... All right, so I'm going to start here. This little guy, this is really cute. This is from Lawn Fawn. It's called Smart Cookie. And it has it's a cookie. It's a cookie. And you can stamp this, and it's got this little diploma, and it's got your Smart Cookie, and it is just really cute. So I am actually going to stamp this in black, and I'm going to mask it over. So I'm going to put it in the middle of my thing. So that's where I'm going to start today. So I just have my card base. So like I said, I know this is a little bit of a deviation. So if you're here for journaling, this is one of the things that we're doing. But I think you guys are with me with what's going on. All right, so this is my little cookie. And I want to put my cookie pretty much right in the middle. And then I'm going to use that kaleidoscope. I'm just going to put it slightly off to the side here. Okay. And never use this. Never use this. I don't know if you guys have a favorite graduation set that you have. Oh, thanks, Tina. This is Altenew Permanent Black ink. So I'm just inking that up because this is safe to use with any medium, which is really great. All right, so there's a little cookie. There's my cookie. And I'm just going to stamp it one more time because I think my permanent black I need to re-ink, and I don't have the ink for it because they keep selling out. Okay, there we go. Nice dark cookie, chocolate chip cookie. All right, so now that I have that cookie, I am going to go ahead and we got to put, because it's Lawn Fawn, we got to put a face on the cookie. And that's what I'm going to do next. And I'm going to get these little glasses because it's adorable. And just put this right on the cookie. The good thing about Lawn Fawn is it doesn't really have to be straight because it's meant to be kind of, kind of cookie. And I'm also going to put this little hat on the cookie because it's cute. And the diploma on the little cookie too. So I'm just kind of putting this right around and stamp all of these. So I'm stamping all of this in permanent black, knowing that I'm going to be coloring it. Okay. Now I already, what I ended up, and I would love to know, graduation gifts for high school kids. What do you recommend? Because I had a tough time with this. And I ended up doing one thing, but I'd love to know what you guys think. What would you do for graduation gifts from high school for kids of this day and age? Now it's retirement sets I'm using. Not for the kids though, Nancy. Not for the kids, I'm assuming. Oh, he's too cute. Look at the little guy. He's so cute. Smart cookie. And I apologize. I was gonna not wrap them, but I ended up wrapping them, all the gifts, so I can't show you what I got the kids. Gift cards. Yeah, right, Ann? That's exactly what I did. I got them personalized pens in their high school colors. And I thought that was really cute. So that was something that I did. I got them nice cross pens. Because I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's me and I'm a pen nerd, but I just really, there's nothing that beats a nice pen. A good hefty pen. All right, so I'm going to do your one smart cookie, which is what's over here. And I'm going to have a hard time with that thing. All right, so let me do this. All right. And you can see I'm kind of grouping these together. So I'm making this little grouping just to put everybody together so it makes sense. And I'm going to do this in the black. I'm actually going to use Obsidian pigment ink for this. Hopefully everybody is lined up because I don't have my alignment tool, but that's all right. We will go with it. Okay. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I think my nephew is going to be like, a pen? Really? Because, the kids, they don't really like write anything. But I think it's nice. Maybe it's a little traditional. I was going to get my nephew a wallet, and my sister-in-law was like, yeah, he doesn't really need that. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't really need a pen either, but that's okay. All right, your one smart cookie. It's cute, right? It's kind of coming together. All right, let me clean this off. And I'm going to put these down. And I think I am not going to use the exclamation point, which is probably why they kept it separate. That was smart on Lawn Fawn's part. I like these little tiny sets from Lawn Fawn because they're like perfect. They just exactly what you need. You don't need anything extra. Oh yeah, when they buy coffee, but they don't, Nancy. They signed it on the machine. You use your phone. You just go whoop and you swipe and you pay for your coffee. I think so. I think they'll be happy when they get to college. I know the two students I work with, they definitely will be really excited for this. All right, so this kaleidoscope stencil, and again, if you haven't heard this company, she hasn't made anything recently, but really cute stuff that she still has for sale on her website. And you're supporting a very local business, or at least local to me. So I have my piece here. And this stencil, it's 5 layers. It's a lot, but it comes out really cool. So she has this all organized. This is top. I'm actually going to skip the middle part, so I kind of want it to look like this. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this up here. So I can see some frames, but I'm going to skip that middle part to keep this nice and white as we go around. All right, I'm just going to grab my stenciling tools, and I'm going to be stenciling in a lot of blue. Lots of blue. So I'm actually going to go darker and then to lighter. She doesn't really have a recommendation. You can pretty much just do whatever the heck you want to do. So this is I'm using lapis lazuli because I feel like it's such a nice rich blue that goes along. And I really try to pick school colors, like what their high school colors are. I really go with that. And I'm just getting some color on. I'm not making this super fancy because, like I said, this is a little bit of a layering stencil in the sense that there's different sections to it. But this way I don't have to mask off my you're one smart cookie. I'm just going to keep that like it is. And then I'm going to color that in with the colored pencils that I have over here. I could use artist markers, but they're across the room and I don't feel like getting them. So I'm just going to use what I have. This is such a cool stencil. You'll see it when I lift it. It's really neat. And so how this lines up is there's etching. And so when I put the next stencil on, you're going to see the etching that goes along with it. And she doesn't have these numbered because, again, it doesn't really matter how you put them on. So the ones that I have here, I'm just lining up. And I can see where I was before. And now I'm going to go with the next color, which is ultramarine. So I'm going to go in darker and into lighter. And since I still have this dark, dark, dark blue on here, I'm going to get that off of my stencil first. So I'm not going to use this middle part because I want to keep that clean. And then I can just start pushing in some azurite. And that's why my hands are in the middle. So I'm making sure that this middle doesn't get any blue on it. And I could tape it off, but I can do this. Famous last words, I know. Famous last words. Love blending. So pretty. But you can see how that blue really starts to pop out now. Yeah, I know, Anne. And right, Tina, it's like when you have those colors, it really makes everything look so nice because it's so personalized to them. Okay, so here we go. So again, I'm just lining these up. So there's my ultramarine. Now I'm heading over to Eastern Sky. Again, I have some of this ultramarine on here, so I'm just going to start by just brushing it off. And when I feel like I have not that much left, I'm going to pick up my next color, which is the Eastern Sky. So this is nice and blue. Again, I'm avoiding this center part. So this stencil does have that little center part, but I am avoiding it. I'm also going to cut this down to give it a little frame. So these outside edges aren't a super big deal. Okay. All right, so still one smart cookie. And now I'm going in, and my next step is the eastern sky. Okay, eastern sky I have. So now my lightest one is iceberg, and this is very light. So I still have this eastern sky on my brush, so I'm just going to grab and just kind of get that off of there and then pick up some color. This is from Right at Home. She's in Massachusetts, and I know her. She's her family, her mom and grandma started a scrapbooking business way back in the 1990s, and she picked it up as a kid in college and took it online while she was going to business undergraduate and business school. She hasn't been making some new things, but she has some beautiful products in there. Very, you know, it's not obviously not well known, but she's got some great font sets and these really cool stencils. She just came out with these, gosh, probably 2 years ago. But you can see that really nice mosaic. So now we have that smart cookie. It's really in there. All right, so we got one more. And you're like, hey, you ran out of inks. You are absolutely correct. I did. So I'm going to go actually darker. I could go lighter, but I'm going to go darker. So I'm going to pull in Tanzanite, which is from the Jewel Tones collection. Okay, so I still have some of this here. I'm just going to line this up, making sure that it fits. There we go. Now you can see these ones I am going to avoid. I'll do these other ones, but I'm going to avoid these ones right here. All right, so let me get that Tanzanite out. And this is dark. So I'm going in just a little bit darker. Nope, not that one. I always have to double check. Okay, there we go. I slipped on that side. And lovely, lovely rich color. These Jewel Tone set, really so nice. I love working with them. Really, really nice. And you can't mess this up because it's mosaics, right? So sometimes they're going to go over each other and sometimes they won't. All right, so now when I pick that up, you can just see how pretty that looks right around our smart cookie, right? It's so nice. So there's 5 stencils in here. And yeah, so I used all 5. So the mosaic, she doesn't have a great picture of it, but that's like what it looks like with the with all the different colors. So you can see this as rainbow. You could do it a whole bunch of different ways, but that's Right at Home. And like I said, she's out of Massachusetts. So she's literally in my backyard. Really, really nice girl. Super, super nice. A little bit of a wonderkind, I gotta say. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm just gonna let that dry because I just put a ton of ink on there. And so I'm gonna clean up a little bit, let this dry, and I want to hold on to this a little bit. These aren't gonna disappear on me because I'm gonna do the inside of my card as well. All right, so this, like I said, I'm just gonna pick it up, let that sucker dry, put it to the side. And I am going to now grab the insides. So I have 3 cards that I have to stamp an inside to. And that is these 2, but these 2 happen to be landscape. And then I have the one that I just did, which is portrait. So I'm going to start off with my landscape ones first. So when I do the inside of a card, the first thing that I do is I cut them down. So an A2 size card is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to cut it off a 1/4 inch on each side. So these are going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And that's for all of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. And it really doesn't matter which way I'm putting it, landscape or portrait. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to cut all of these down. And by 5 1/4. And I have a third one. By 5 1/4. Okay, so now I have my cards all set, or the inside of my cards all set. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to start out with this one. So I know this card is blue. So I actually like to jazz it up just a little bit and make it a little special on the inside. And so that's where I actually bring in a little bit of washi tape. And for washi tape, what I like to do is I actually usually add 2. I usually add like a thicker one and a thinner one. And I like to make that other one a little bit metallic-y, just to give it a little bit of shine. This also helps me. I put this down first because this helps me with the placement of my sentiment. And I'm just pause there because I cannot talk and try to line something up straight at the same time. I don't know if we have some other amazing people out there who can do both of those things. I, however, am not one of them. And I probably still did not do that straight, but I was pretty close. All right, so now I'm just going to grab this. And this is just a little on the metallic-y side. And I just like to add a little bit of shine. Sometimes it's metallic. Sometimes it's, glitter. And I got a little bit up there. This is not the best quality washi. So you can see it's kind of coming off and etc. All right, so that just gives it a little bit of a shine on the inside. Just something a little bit special. And then I always like to add something that's similar to like the outside of the card. So you can see that my washi tape has a little bit of mosaic to it. So I'm actually going to just grab just a little corner here. And I'm just going to add a little mosaic in. So I still have some ink left on my brush. So I'm just going to grab that brush and just ink up this little section, whatever the heck is in here. It doesn't matter what it is, but just a little bit. And I'll just do another little one down here so it doesn't look so weird. And again, this is just off my brush. I put my inks away. So just a little bit something, just a little something, something. That's over on the side. Okay, so there we go. Just a little something to kind of keep that in, to kind of tie that together. All right, so now I'm going to grab my sentiment. So I pulled, again, I organized all my stuff, and I'm so glad I did because I found stuff that I'm like, oh, I have that. Now, I kind of think about this is how much am I going to write? And am I going to write a lot? Am I not going to write that much? And that's where I typically will plan to put my sentiment in. And so this is so great. This stamp set is older. It's from Honeybee Stamps, but it is called Congrats Grad, and it's completely sentiments for graduation. So that's what's helping. I think this might, Nancy, also work for retirement, but definitely does. You could say retired from your job. I don't know. So I'm just going to put in Congrats Graduate. Congrats Grad. I'm going to put that in. All right, there's like we are, way to go, things like that, but I just want to put this in. So I'm going to do congrats and then grad. Again, I usually have an alignment tool, but I don't have that right now. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this using the grid mat that I have over on the side. I'm pretty close. It's all right. Okay, so there we go. I apologize if my head got in the way as I'm looking over that. All right, so I'm just going to stamp this. And like I said, because I have that washi tape on the side, it really kind of helps me to figure out where everything is. Now this is Obsidian, which does an amazing job at coverage. Really, honestly, one stamp coverage black, you're like, what? But because I have that washi tape on, it really helped me where my placement of my sentiment was going to go. So beautiful, looks great. And then all I do is I'm just going to take this, and I already have a card base that's made out of some blue cardstock that I have. This is actually Gina K. I really like her cardstock for bases. And I'm just going to grab some glue and stick this in. So this goes right in here. Nobody's going to know all of my washi, background, anything. So I just stick that in. And there is my card. And so it has this lovely frame, which is really nice. You can also do white on white, but I like the colored cardstock for my cards. So it just has this really nice frame. So it just looks really polished in there. And then when my other pieces dry, I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Okay, so here's my little card. And I need to cut off some edges here, which I'm going to do. So you can see that my top did not do a great job here of going right up to the top. So I'm going to cut this so I can have that little extra. And then I'm going to cut, I think this side looks worse. So I'm actually going to cut the difference here and make that 4. There we go. All right. And then I'm really, really quickly going to use my colored pencils in order to do this. To color in my cookie. Oh, you can't find it online? All right, Anne, let me give me a second. If you shoot me a text, I will find that for you. If she may be out. I don't know. I wonder if she's out. It's too bad because she is really cool. I have a couple of her stuff. I apologize for using something that you can't find. I'm so sorry. But she's got some cute stuff. All right, so I need to make a cookie. So that's kind of brown, but it's got a little bit of orange in it. So I'm just grabbing, here's my yellow ochre. All right. And you can color your cookie however it is that you want to color your cookie, but I'm going to color my cookie this way. So I'm just going to grab, I want that outside to be darker. So this is Sicilian Amber. And the cool thing with Lawn Fawn is you really can do anything with it because it's a cartoon, you know? I mean, that's the whole point, is it's a cartoon. All right, this is yellow ochre, so this is going to give it just a little bit of a yellow touch to it. All right, and then this is going to brighten it up. So this is maple yellow, so it's a little bit of a darker yellow. But this is just going to kind of brighten it up. And I don't want it this yellow. I'm just kind of laying this down on this side because I want it to be a little bit brighter. All right, so now I'm going to go in. This is Sicilian Amber, and I'm going to start to bring that color over. And so you can see when I start to mix all these colors together, how that yellow, even though you're like, you put yellow on a cookie, it's okay. It's going to be okay. All right, and then I'm back to yellow ochre. So this is going to bring it in. All right, so now I'm just going to finalize this. And then bring this up. So this is going to be a little bit lighter. I'm adding more pressure down here where I want it to be darker. Underneath his glasses. Little bridge of his nose. I'm not going to color in his glasses because I want to keep that a little bit lighter. Okay, there we go. Little cookie. All right, so now I want my cap to be black, of course. And I don't think there's a black in here. Yes, there is. Here's the jet black. I knew there was black. All right, so this, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to make the tassel blue, and I'm going to make this little wrapper blue. But of course, these sections are going to be very dark. So I'm going right in with that black where I want that to be darkest. And that is where I'm going to lay down a lot of heavy color. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to start to bring this over. So you can see I'm laying down that color right on the edge. And then I'm going to bring it over and just go a little bit lighter in the middle, just to give it some depth and dimension. And I know I'm using one color for this, so it's really just about how dark, like how much you're pressing down on it. And I want to be really dark right here. And then it's going to be a little bit lighter in the middle as we go towards it. I think you probably can do a little bit faster or easier with artist markers. But like I said, I have the colored, this is what I had was the colored pencils. But I love my cookie. He's really cute. I thought I had an owl, but the cookie is cute too. He's so cute. Thank you. Thanks, Tina. I was struggling for a background with the cookie. I'm like, what the heck do you pair with the cookie? I was really stuck. But I think this works great. All right, I think I want to put in sapphire. I just want to check this. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to put sapphire in here. Oh, we got a visitor. Sorry, I apologize. Do you know that time when your cat walks across your desk while you're trying to do something and focus? Yeah. All right, so now I'm going to come in. And these are really small, so it's so hard to get a nice shading on this. So I'm actually going to come in with a darker blue. This was sapphire. I'm going to come in with starlight. And I'm just going to get just another layer in order to get that dark. That is not it. I think I need desert night. And because I'm coming in with a darker color, it's going to make the color that I laid down initially look lighter. And this is hard because, again, these little sections are so small. So it's hard to get that. I think you can kind of see it. Look, Cookie. There he is. He's so cute. All right. And now I just need a little bit of blue. So I'm going to go really light here. And this is one of those things. It's just that trick about making it look white. I know it's white, but you can actually make it look a little bit whiter just by adding a little touch of a very light color and just kind of outlining it. You can use gray for this. I'm just keeping with my blue theme by adding a little bit of blue. All right, so there's my smart cookie. He's so cute. And so I'm going to go ahead and just add this right to my card front, or you add this right on. And so that blue really helps it. And that's how you can personalize it, is by taking, you know, whatever the, if you don't know, you can ask or you can look it up, is what are the school colors? And then you can really personalize it, and it looks really cute. You can also put the school logo if you want to, their name, something like that to kind of personalize that. All right, so now we have our envelope is right here. So I got a little envelope, And I can do the same thing that I did here, is just add in a little little thing. And it's such a cute guy. I agree, Tina. And it was really hard to think of a background because these are neat and they definitely could be, gender neutral. They're very neutral. But it's still got that glitter on it, But I thought this was cute because I really, again, I forgot it. I had this stuff. I forgot I purchased these. And so when I was organizing, I'm like, this is really going to be great. So I'm going to use them. So I still am going to grab, so I want to personalize my envelope a little bit. And so I'm going to grab this. Now I still have a ton of ink on here. And I am actually just going to go ahead and grab that ink and just push it through. So I still have the same brush. I still have ink here. And I'm just going to move that ink in. Not doing anything super crazy. I'm not even asking or getting any of my other stuff. Not getting any other inks out. And I'm getting a couple of different colors here because I can. But it just gives it that little personal touch to say, hey, this is here. So I'm just kind of moving this around to get it. I don't want to get those top ones. I just want to get that. And I'll just get this one. And I'm going to do right here. All right. So again, just a little bit on there. And you could also, I think I'm going to do this on the back. So I can stencil right on the back. And you do the same thing and just push that ink down. And that is going to connect the card to the envelope. And I think it just is a really neat little thing that you can do that. And I'm just going to grab these other stencils that have some different colors on them. Again, I'm not adding extra ink. I'm just using what's already on my stencil. And I'm just pushing it down. Okay. So now I got a little bit of a card, got my cookie, and I'm ready to go. There we go. Oh, that's too bad, Nancy. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for using that. Then I apologize, guys. But anyway, there's, I'm sure, other types of stencils that are similar to that have that kind of mosaicness to it. And it just, again, is something that's a little bit nice. So I have the other thing I'm going to do. So let me grab so here's his little card. And then I'm going to add onto this a little tag, and I've already cut these out. So I'm just going to add a little tag on there. I'm just going to make it blue. And his gift is all ready to go. So I encourage you today to think about these kinds of things, to, take your journaling, which is what we are talking about today and every week, and to think about kind of moving that forward. So how can you take those, the stuff that we focus on. So this week wasn't really gratitude, but it's more about like kind of moving that regulation forward, just giving somebody kind of a kudos and a heads up to say, hey, you know what? You're doing great. You're doing a good job, and keep it up. All right. So I wanted to thank you. Thank you for staying with me a little bit after 4 o'clock. To next week, I think I have to cancel next week. So I have to double check because I think we have something going on. Maybe we don't. No, yes, we do. All right. So I think I'm canceling next week. So I will see you guys here for week 20. All right. So week 20, which is going to be the 3rd. I might, or I can, what I might do is I might move our journaling up earlier. So I'm gonna check, because I got to check my schedule. Okay. All right. I will see you guys later. All right. Have a fabulous week. And I just want to say thank you again for joining me on Journaling with Intention. I hope that this was helpful. Thinking about ways that you can, ways that you can take that time and regulate yourself and track all the fabulous things that are happening in your life. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining me.